When I was in elementary school, a Thomas Edison impersonator visited my class and talked all about his inventions as if he really was Edison. I don't remember anything specific that he said, but I just remember how inspired he made me. I got home and I could not wait. I just felt super inspired to be an inventor myself, and I got to work right away. I wrapped a light bulb in foil, formed the foil into 2 prongs, and then took that invention in my bare hands and jammed it right into the power outlet. I then went into the kitchen and told my mom that I had just shocked myself doing an electricity experiment. Somehow she assumed I was just playing with batteries, and she was happy to help me. She said, "Here, use my rubber gloves. Electricity can't get through rubber." Feeling invincible with my new rubber gloves, I repeated my mission and... Welcome to the Underlife. I hope you enjoyed this whole video. I'm making this video to share how 20-ish years later, I got the opportunity to give another child the exact same experience. Hands-on, science-y learning experience, not the electrocution. The opportunity arose when I was selling some spare aquarium supplies on Facebook Marketplace, and a guy named Myles reached out to me to ask if I would like to donate any items to his pet rescue. After chatting back and forth with Myles for a bit, I had the idea that it would be awesome for me to create an aquascape for the rescue. I also shared the idea with my friend Andrew, who was working at a local pet shop at the time. Andrew helped set up a meeting between me and the shop owners, and even though I had only 200 YouTube subscribers, they were convinced that it was a good idea to donate an entire aquarium setup to the cause and to me making this aquascape. It was super nice of them. I got the feeling that their donation was about 20% for their business and the other 80% out of sheer kindness and love for the hobby.
Hey man, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Always good to see you. I think we got everything set up in front.
If you're ever in Rochester, New York, PetWorld is the best place for fish here. And I find that compared to stores that I've been to that are multiple times their size, somehow PetWorld manages to stock the things that I actually want. There's always something on my, short bucket list of things to buy that I go in and discover that they have. It's really awesome.
And hopefully it will come out beautiful.
I filled up my car with free goodies, and a couple of weeks later I was off to Myles Exotic Pet Rescue to set up the aquascape. I think it's this street. Garage.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Hi. We use that table. That's fine.
That's perfect. Yeah, that looks good. This is the first thing I'm bringing in, but I've got a lot of stuff, so
Did you eat
take a little bit. Sure. Yeah.
I'm not the bottom of the top.
After kindly helping me bring in my aquarium and recording gear, I asked Myles to give you a little tour of the animals that they're keeping. Myles told me that the kids at the rescue have named most of the animals, and you'll hear about the kids in a minute, but just listen to these names.
This is Charlotte, our curly-haired tarantula. This is Ghost, our ball python. He's hiding. Ball pythons are nocturnal. He was starved for a while, and so now we are feeding him. This is Sheldon. Sheldon is our armadillo lizard. He's very, very tiny. He's like this big. Buddy is one of our rescue bearded dragons. Came to us very, very skinny. He's doing very well now. Peanut, you never see Peanut because Peanut is a sand boa, and so he's always hiding in the sand. And we have our vinegar room. It spits out a vinegar-like smell, kind of like a skunk would do whenever it's scared. These are our 2 leopard geckos. This is Mango and Aragon. This is our 7-foot by 6-foot iguana enclosure. This is Bandit. Bandit is approximately 8 to 10 years old. He is a sulcated tortoise, or what they would call African spur tortoise. These guys are built like elephants, really. Very hefty, very strong. They live up to 200 years and they can get up to 250 pounds. There's 2 more in here, which is a 1-year-old and a 5-year-old. They're smaller, easier to lose, so we keep them in there. And then we have our 2 chinchillas. This is Beautiful down here. And then we have Elvis in this one. And we have rats, but we can skip the rats. This is Bun Bun. Bun Bun is probably the neatest, cleanest bunny I've ever met. He doesn't like anything up on his tray. If he'll eat up there and that's it. And when he's done eating, he throws it all down to the ground. So he is very, very, hey, look at me, I'm clean kind of guy. And then this is a bearded dragon that just came to us. He's very, very big. Bearded dragons are awesome because they like to just sit right up here on your shoulder. And they will do that all day. You can fall asleep with them. He'll stay right there. This is what they love to do. Brownie is a viper boa, and we also have tadpoles in here, which is really cool.
We've gotten this far into the video and I haven't really shared with you what Myles Exotic Pet Rescue. Haven't really shared with you what Myles Exotic Pet Rescue is and does. So after the room tour, I asked Myles to sit down with me and share for you a little bit about the rescue.
I've been rescuing animals for 15 years. We started in my house and I started with like 5 animals, baby. And then it just exploded. And at one point I ended up with 20 animals. I ended up with like 5 ducks, chickens. I had a pond in my yard, my front yard, because we had all these turtles. My house was packed. My living room turned into a reptile room. Like, there was no living room no more. Like, you would sit and, you know, the TV was there, but like, it was just reptiles everywhere. And I was like, we got to get out of here. We were growing so much that I knew we needed to get a space just for the rescue. So here at Myles Exotic Pet Rescue, we take in exotic pets. They come in, some of them are very healthy, some of them are sick, and so we evaluate them, make sure they're healthy, rehabilitate them. Once they're rehabilitated, the ones that are able to leave get put up for adoption. And then we have our junior zoologist program, which is for students, homeschoolers at the moment, who are interested in the animal care field. They come in and they set up enclosures, they feed them. They're doing what they want to do in the future, but now. A lot of veterinarian schools, they want you to have some type of volunteer work or some type of experience in the field. And so they're getting that here. They're learning the proper care of these animals. We bring in breeders, vet techs, veterinarians, other rescues, dog groomers, trainers, everything. They come in and they talk to the students and they show the students, like, you know, this is how you get here and this is what we do and things like that. So it opens the eyes to different things.
This educational component is where I came in to teach a couple kids about the art and science of aquascaping. And when I say a couple kids, I mean just a couple kids. But it was awesome that this family came out with their daughters to learn with a stranger at a weird time on a Saturday.
These guys wanna go into the animal career, so
As promised in the video title, the rest of this video will be a beginner's aquascaping tutorial. This aquatop tank from PetWorld is actually perfect for beginners. It comes as a complete kit with a filter built into the back wall and an LED light included. This eliminates a lot of the research and decision making you would normally need to do in setting up an aquarium and all its accessories. And this is basically, soil, it's dirt, and it has all of the ingredients that plants need. Traditionally, aquariums use what's considered an inert substrate. Substrate is just the material at the bottom of the aquarium, such as sand or gravel. Sand and gravel don't come with any nutrients in them, so it's important to use some sort of aqua soil which contains all of the things the plants need. Here you can see I'm heavily sloping the aqua soil up toward the back of the aquarium. Basically, the bottom surface is now a hypotenuse of the original bottom glass. The hypotenuse is longer than the triangle's base or height, so that distance to the back now looks deeper. With the substrate in place, I started adding hardscape. Hardscape is the aquascaping geek term for the elements of the layout that create structure, like rock or wood. Adding the hardscape is the part of the process that I tend to find myself looking forward to the most. It's basically Legos for cavemen, and if my Neanderthal brow line doesn't indicate that stacking rocks for entertainment is my destiny, I don't know what does. I made sure to leave space behind the lava rocks for tall plants. Keeping tall stem plants to the back prevents the view of the aquascape from being blocked by their height. Lava rocks like I'm using here tend to be cheaper than other types of rock, probably because they're so lightweight and easy to ship. They're a beautiful and budget-friendly option. I added some spiderwood to the middle to create some visual flow. Then I started gluing the hardscape together using absorbent pads and superglue. This keeps anything in the tank from shifting when it's moved to its final spot, and it keeps the wood from floating up when the aquarium's filled with water. I could tell that one of the girls who was watching was extra fascinated with the process, so I made it a team effort and handed the rest of the gluing over to her. Standard superglue is totally aquarium safe when dry, and soaking the glue into cotton balls works great. With the hardscape built, it was time to start planting. I sprayed the soil to make planting easier, then handed the task off to my child laborer. Would either of you like to spray this? You're pretty preoccupied right now. You got a snake around your arm. Before planting anything in the soil, I attached moss to the hardscape using superglue and by wrapping the unglued parts with thread. The glue can sometimes damage the moss just a bit, so using thread where possible is definitely helpful. I continued on adding more plants all across the hardscape, using a combination of gluing, threading, and just wedging plants into the cracks between rocks. The plant you see here with the tiny round leaves is called Anubias nana petite. It's a really beautiful plant that's also really easy to care for and is used by aquascapers at all levels. Anubias is an epiphyte plant, which means it likes to be attached to hardscape rather than planted in soil. After the moss and Anubias were added, I started planting tall stem plants in the background. I gave the plants a quick spray to make sure they weren't dehydrating, and then I handed things over to my assistant. Would you like to plant some of these?
Yeah, sure, I'd like to.
So you take some of this in your hand, and then you put it between the tweezers like this, and then press it in somewhere back there where there's not already a plant. Press it down.
Is that good?
Yeah. Looks like it's holding. Yep. Looks good.
Thank you.
Thank you. So eventually these ones in the back will grow up high like trees. The stem plants, especially this one I'm using right now, it's called pearlweed. It grows really fast, which means it uses a lot of nutrients. And the fact that it uses a lot of nutrients, it outcompetes algae. So algae and the plants need the same nutrients to thrive. A fast-growing plant is just taking up all those nutrients. There's not much left. The next thing I planted was Cryptocorini parva. This is an easy plant with small elongated leaves and a large root system that spreads way out into the soil. Next, a small amount of Hydrocodyle tripartita was planted. This is a different kind of plant. I'm putting just a little bit of this in, but it looks like...
Tiny maple.
Yeah, I think of them as like little clovers. I see that too. It does look like a maple leaf.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of a good idea. This could be like hanging from the stump.
Okay. Why don't you put it where you think it would go? Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. It looks kind of like vines, right?
Yeah.
Once the planting was finished, I added some cosmetic sand to the front of the aquascape, then moved the entire aquarium to its final location, right inside the Pet Rescue entrance. I then filled the aquarium with Home Depot water. Top tip for beginners, it's really important to use water from Home Depot if you're a doer and want to get more done. I usually find it helpful not to tell the employees why I'm leaving the customer bathroom with a bucket full of sloshing liquid. Whatever tap water you choose to use, just make sure that you add dechlorinator. This allows beneficial bacteria to thrive, which is important for maintaining healthy water parameters. Finally, I plugged in the filter and left the aquarium to establish itself. Once the plants are grown in and the beneficial bacteria has had a chance to remove toxins from the water, it'll be safe to add fish. This often takes about a month. Maybe in the same way that I was inspired by the Thomas Edison impersonator to go and become an inventor, I inspired one or both of these pet rescue students to go and care for aquatic ecosystems. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.